get ready to take it higher, take it deeper, and we're gonna call up birthday. Birthday May. But we're gonna talk about her a little bit first, okay? Is that all right?
Okay.
All right, we're gonna talk about her. We're gonna talk about her right to her face. May Ray is known as one of South Florida's most powerful female poets. And we've already had a taste of that. Wearing single motherhood as a badge of honor, May Ray is determined to transcend the boundaries that society has set for her. She has published two poetry books, My Right to Live and Love, yes, and The Sound of Silence, plus a guided writing journal called Because the Journey Begins with You. She is also the owner of Moonflower Candles. I love it, I love it. Yes. You have candles here?
They're sold out.
They sold. All right, let's give it up for selling out on the candles. Yes. And currently she's working on her highly anticipated third book. To be titled, Girl, We Need to Talk. We are so pleased to have her in this house tonight. Let's give it up, a big Palm Beach County, and from wherever else you are from, for May Ray. Give it up for y'all. All right, May Ray. Do you? Yes, you can. You can go way up there if you want to. Sure, I'll get it for you.
I don't know how to work this thing anymore. It's been a long time since I got it up. Okay. You look like you can help me. Don't record that. My wife will kill me. All right. So Black Women Rise. I'm so excited, as I've said a million times, to be here, to see you all here. This is just an amazing event. I love it. I wish we could do it every year. I don't want to hear it. I wish we could do it every year. Yes. I mean, it's needed. We know that Black women have been rising since there was somewhere to rise from. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
And so definitely I'm always grateful to honor the women that are rising now and the women that have risen before us, right?
Yes.
All right. Southern trees bearing strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the roots, black body swinging in the summer breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. I imagine there'll be no proper way to untie a noose. I reckon there'll be no dignified way for you to turn me loose. I believe your sheets is turning down and your pillows need a fluffing. I expect by morning you be looking for your favorite muffins. I gather your dishes gonna be piled in tears from your child. I imagine Mrs. Milk done dried up. She ain't nursed her own in quite a while. I imagine this place get dusty in about a week or so. Baseboards gonna need a washing, red lawn with them flows. I gather around about midnight when Mrs. fast asleep. You be stirring with frustration when you come to look for me. Never did understand how you hates my colored skin, but when this clock strike midnight in my bed, you climbing in, or I've been hiding some kind of pain, sir, behind this humble grin. Wonder what you do now, sir, when your mind filled up with sin. Mrs. best be learning to cook for you. No time to teach her how. I imagine she gonna scrub this place. Guess she be your nigga now. They tells me I'm free today. I don't know what that means. See, I was born in slavery, only free inside my dreams, so I best be packing up my rags, so I got no place to go. Waited long time just to say I don't belong to you no more. There's a stirring in my spirit, a joy I can't make out. So I best be on my way, see what this freedom all about. I'm going to the southern tree where they hung my Willie Joe. Want him to be the first I tell I ain't nobody's slave no more. Won't be easy days ahead, but anything better than here. My mama said the only thing that's worse than death is fear. So I was packing up my rags now. No crystal stairs for me, but I ain't never asked God for nothing. Only pray that I be free. I ain't never asked God for nothing. Only pray that I be free. We ain't never asked God for nothing. Only pray that we be free. Southern tree. Bearing strange fruit. Blood on the leaves, oh God. And blood at the roots. Black body swinging in the summer breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree. So I have the honor of doing a few pieces, I believe. They'll stop me if I go too far. I'm a poet, so you know how we can go all night. Okay, so the first poem that I did, since I have a group that is open, so open to listen. The first poem that I did, I was sitting thinking what it must have been like for an elder sister to say to her master, I'm leaving now. You know what that day must have been like. You're free. They freed your people. You can go now. What do you say? You've been enslaved by this person. You've been beaten. You've been raped. But you've also been fed. What do you say? What a conflict. What do I say? Nice to meet you. What do you say? And so when I started to contemplate that thought, that poem was born in me, and I called my mother immediately and read it for her. And she said, that's amazing. You know, some people were afraid to be free. Because what did freedom really mean? Now you're vulnerable, right? You're free, and now you're afraid, okay? And so that's where that poem was born. That poem is entitled, Dear Sir. So my grandmother used to sing about it. How I got over. My soul looks back and wonders how I got over. Some of y'all was raised in the church. Yeah. See, this ain't poetry. It's my therapy. Better than any couch and some know-it-all listening to me freestyle, making six figures just to make me describe block figures. I get more satisfaction standing on the block trying to save my community. Talking about why poverty has diplomatic immunity. Sorry, Mom, but counseling won't fix this. I was born a revolutionary. Most of y'all ain't ready for my commentary. My grandmother told me I've been here before and I got my own mind. Part spirit, part feline. Have cactus, have dandelion. Alienate myself like I'm the only one of my kind. I'm an open book. Read me. You'll thank me for my honesty. Truth is, my truth may set you free, or I can hear your shackles loosen as I speak. I write for lost children under so much peer pressure they can hardly breathe. I write for single mothers scared to believe hearts on their sleeves watching men leave. His reflection in their offspring become her pet peeve for young boys. Playing his favorite rap song on repeat, then playing his father's footsteps on repeat. My first poem was a product of my own suicidal tendencies, so I write for my own sanity, my only sense of gravity, my moments of clarity. See, I write for young girls with low self-esteem. In their eyes, I can see reflections of me. The earth gon' quake when she find her individuality, when she can make perfect sense of her insanity. And my little girl will likely find herself before child support find her daddy. I got a right to live. And sometimes I got a right to live. I dare you to take my kindness for weakness. Of course, I'm sweet, daughter of a Georgia peach, but I bet you'd rather dance with the devil than dance with a rebel. This is the only intercourse that I like, R-A-W, surviving the struggle. That's an understatement. Made single motherhood look like a fashion statement. And that's not to glorify raising kids with no father. But if the alarming statistics don't alarm him, why the fuck should I bother? You can't figure me out or box me in. Been messed around by both men and women. This ain't poetry, it's my survival mechanism. I'm no judge, but you listening for my next sentence. Food for thought and you starving for nutrients. How can I survive in this city of savages? Aim high like I don't know what average is. My math scores were always below average, so this is a nightmare deferred. Thank God for them teachers who said what I can't do with numbers, I could surely do with words. Now Shouty ain't a 10, she a 16. And Shouty ain't super fly, but she cruise control somewhere in between. My greatest accomplishment is just being me. My look what became of your high-risk pregnancy. The afterlife is surviving those suicidal tendencies. I got a right to live. And sometimes I got a right to live. See, most days my life be a Lupe fiasco. Neighborhood streets bleeding Tabasco. Job market a monopoly and black folks can't pass go. Holding on when it seemed easier to let go. And I know that being human's hard when they reminisce over you, my God. I used to wonder who deals these cards, but I made it. I took the hand I was dealt and I played it. So these growing pains ain't no tragedy. This is my marketing strategy. It's crazy when your hobby also makes your heart beat. I got a right to live. And sometimes I got a right to live. And I hope to God that you find your reason. My soul looks back and wonders how I got over. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. So that poem was written in honor of me surviving childhood depression, all the things that I had to go through. And so I came to this point in my life where I understood that I have a right to be here. I have a right to follow my dreams and my passion and to do what it is that I do. And not even me should get in the way of that. And so surviving that, it was a very serious thing. Therapy and all of these things. And the therapist said, look, your daughter sees the world very differently. I don't know if you'll ever be able to change that. And that is when something opened up in me that said, you know what? That's the key. Knowing who you are and not allowing anybody to try and change that. Okay, so I told you guys last night that I was recently married. Okay. Clap it up for my wife. Not even here, but I feel her. Don't laugh at me, G. G is my good friend, so she knows that I'm hard to catch. I'm a Pisces, you know. So it was difficult, right? This journey that I've been on. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be no relationship, no. And then, you know, my wife came back into my life after a long time, and I was like, oh. Oh, look. It's you. dedicating this poem to my wife, although she's not here. I can tell her. I could have told her and not done it, but I'm in an honest mood today. This piece is called The Beauty of Maturation. I'll read this and one more piece and then I'm out. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. All right. Experience makes the most complex things simple. Her spirit is relentless yet gentle. I can tell she grabs life by the balls to steady herself. A front row student, at times she has studied herself, her eyes. Admit that she can find perfection in my flaws. The firmness of her grip assures me it's safe to fall. The angels carry her good intentions. And I can hear her thoughts transmitted when I'm not even paying attention. At just past 30, barely got my hands dirty. She knows I have the potential to be reckless, spoiled and dangerous, but her inner child is courageous. And love is contagious. She ain't scared to sail the high tide when the water is raging. Still, I can feel her reservation. But what seems insane can also be your salvation. I am Friday nights. She is easy like Sunday mornings. We are as divergent as the time zones we were born in. This means her stories are never boring. Our lives to each other are foreign. We are exchange students learning new culture. She has discovered in me a priceless sculpture. I am her archaeologist. She is the archivist of my soul. There is almost 20 years of history lost in our evolution. She is a realist. I am an idealist. She is the voice of reason. I am the illogical young warrior packing the weapon I promised to leave behind. She nurtures my naivete. I'm the Sudoku puzzle reviving her mind. I am swift. She is one day at a time. I am liberty. She is liberal. I'm predominantly youthful. She is dominantly beautiful. She makes me wonder. I make her remember. I'm spontaneous spring. She is consistent December. She is the depth of lovemaking. I am a first kiss. The beauty of our journey is how we find ways to coexist like this. Thank you. Okay, and this last piece is a piece that I wrote called Civil Rights. There should only be the human agenda. Yet we are forced to surrender, hide our family photos, leave our lovers behind while we attend the company picnic as if our significant others are insignificant, hiding who we are to avoid the panic and frank our true stories in the attic. There is no one to blame. And there's nothing more sinful than hiding behind his name. Please don't use him to wrongfully judge me or suggest that his love does not include me. This is not a phase or a fantasy or a cop-out because my last boyfriend hurt me. The proof is in the potency, in the poetry, in my constitutional right to be happy already outlasting most marriage expectancy. And while the divorce rate rises, we compromise which of us will carry our next child. While governments concoct ways to justify discrimination, we consider artificial insemination. We're at open house and PTA meetings, football, ballet, and cheerleading, study and daily reading, completing homework, committing to making our homework. We teach the children about diversity. Then we demonstrate diversity. We practice what we preach. I am enjoying the scenic route through destiny, loving beyond acceptance and sanity, confronting social guidelines. My life is a picket sign. Watch me like prime time, but this revolution will not be televised except on logo. Otherwise, it's whispered softly, cheeks resting on earlobes. It is yelled in silence when your eyes lock because somehow we know. It is discovered by a subliminal rainbow. It is the discreet bumper sticker on the back of your car. It is who we are. It is the person in the cubicle who is just too nice to be straight because 6 seasons of the L word was not enough. It is understanding that we test the inclusiveness of love because all rights are civil, right? Yeah. Thank you. My website is just my name, mayrain.com. You can find my books there. You can find my candles there. You can even find my t-shirt, Act Like You Got Ancestors there. I also have t-shirts and books out at the table, so I'll be out there for a little while. Thank you so much for embracing me, for having me here again, embracing my art. Thank you so much. You guys keep art alive.